Hello everyone, welcome to my The Boys power ranking video, in which all of the Supes who have a name and use their powers to some degree in the Boys TV series gets ranked in order from least to most powerful based on fighting ability and raw power. While the comics are great, whatever happens in the comics will not be considered during this video. Additionally, I wanted to thank the Boys Wiki site for helping me create this list. First up, we have Mesmer. Mesmer has the power of telepathy, in which anyone he touches, he can read their minds and explore their memories. He has no control over someone's mind, so he cannot freeze them while contact is established, and they can beat him up while doing so. He has no combat ability and no enhanced physical attributes. He gets killed by Butcher in the series rather easily through hand-to-hand combat. Next up, we have the shapeshifter Doppelganger. Doppelganger's only ability appears to be shapeshifting into any person, supe or normal. He is not even able to transform for very long, and it hurts him to transform for too long. Homelander snaps his neck easily with one hand. Gecko was friends with Starlight at Bible camp. He has an extremely high regeneration rate, being able to regenerate any limb from his body quite easily and with no pain. He has not been mentioned to have any combat experience. Ezekiel is a prominent Christian supe and an organizer of Capes for Christ. Ezekiel can stretch his limbs like Mr. Fantastic, and while he is stretched, he appears to have some degree of strength, as Huey, with both hands, was unable to get his hand to budge while being choked. He can elongate and retract his arms quickly. The next one might not fit in perfectly because we actually don't see any demonstration of his power, but we have Eagle the Archer, and he's the one who gets the deep into the Church of the Collective. He's a parody of Green Arrow or Hawkeye, and he is mentioned to have perfect aim with a bow, but again, we are not sure how accurate this claim is since we never see him use his bow. Next up, we got Blind Spot. Blind Spot was a contender for filling Translucent Spot on the 7. Blind Spot possesses peak human agility and superhuman hearing, while also being very adept at martial arts and melee weapons. He can use his hearing seemingly like echolocation as he is blind. Homelander quickly points out that he is useless without his ears, and he claps his ears, leaving him bleeding on the floor. Some people might be upset with my next pick, but I hope you guys can understand. Next up, we have the Deep, who in my opinion is the embodiment of the lame Aquaman stereotype. Sure, he's a great swimmer, he has gills to breathe underwater, he can withstand pressure from the ocean floor, and he can communicate with all sea creatures. He also has enhanced strength, but his gills are his weakness, and he cannot even really take in human fingers there without immense pain. He was also knocked out when Butcher impaled a whale with a boat and he fell on the sand. If the fight was fought in water with any of these other supes, it might be a different story as opposed to a regular fight, but to be honest, he kills a lot of the aquatic animals that he tries to save on the show, and he's also not too good of a strategist when it comes to utilizing these aquatic animals. After Deep, we have Popclaw, former secret lover of A-Train and parody of Wolverine or X-23. Her main power comes from her retractable claws, along with strength and durability. In the show, she was able to squat lift 900 pounds of weight and crush a skull with her thighs. Although these feats were performed while on Compound B, this is indicative that her abilities are probably lower than what we witnessed. It's also likely that it's not too far off from what we saw as well. Next up, we have fan favorite Love Sausage. Love Sausage was a test subject in the Sage Grove Center. He has the ability known as prehensile penis, which pretty much means that he is able to exert full control of his penis as if it were a tentacle and have it grow in length at will. His sausage was able to strangle Mother Milk through the window of a door, when Love was knocked out by Kimiko with a single punch to the head. The sausage is unable to act on its own. Lamplighter is a former member of the Seven who is famous for killing Mallory's grandchildren. Lamplighter can manipulate fire, which means that he cannot create fire on his own, but only with a fire source present, such as his torch or a lighter. A single flame of fire will allow him to activate his abilities, and his abilities are quite brutal considering he was known for burning unruly Supe patients alive at Sage Grove. His durability seems to be that of an average human, as he was able to burn himself alive rather easily with his powers and felt very threatened by the presence of guns pointed at him. Huey was also able to cut off his hand from his charred body with a broken glass bottle. It's here, in my opinion, where we start to get some of the really powerful Supes. Here we have the original Supe terrorist, Nakeeb, able to withstand direct bullet fire, and fire does not seem to bother him either. Nakeeb can self-detonate multiple times, seemingly without damage to himself. His blasts are so great, he was able to blow up a 3-story military facility and kill all the soldiers within it. His blast was able to burn the skin of Black Noir, but ultimately it did not faze him. He is then beheaded by Black Noir. Translucent has one of the highest durabilities of anyone on the show, with a carbon metamaterial skin. The skin is practically impenetrable from the outside, but he is vulnerable on the inside, such as through the holes of the human body. His skin is also vulnerable to electric shocks. While it will not kill him, it can knock him out if turned up enough. He does possess some degree of super strength, case in point being when he lifted a TV with minimal effort to use in his fight against Butcher. He can also turn completely invisible only while he is naked. Objects can still stick to him in this state, giving opponents an idea of his body outline. Starlight is a small-town hero who made it to the big leagues. Starlight can take ambient electricity around to feel her powers. She can fire blasts from her hands which can burn through fences, cauterize wounds, and kill grown humans. The blasts were shown to knock back heavy hitters such as Black Noir and Stormfront. Her hands and eyes are also able to glow, giving light in dark areas. Her durability is high as well, being able to withstand 50 caliber bullets and being able to recover quickly from these wounds as well. She has enhanced strength, being able to lift the back of cars and punch through brick walls. Her punches can cause harm to Stormfront, but she is not able to match her one-on-one. She has also been shown to be helpless when confronted by Homelander in the past, and lost in her fight against Black Noir, having to be saved by Maeve. Starlight also has a degree of martial arts ability, and I'd also like to mention A-Train had the upper hand against her in their fight until he suffered from a heart attack. Kenji is the younger brother of Kimiko and a member of the Shining Light Liberation Army. Kenji is a powerful telekinetic, being able to move objects as large as a ship freighter and even bury Homelander underneath concrete and a bus. His durability is high as well, being able to be thrown through several walls by Stormfront and getting hit by her lightning. His hands were ripped off by Stormfront in a rooftop battle, rendering his powers useless, and then she proceeded to snap his neck. Kimiko, also known as the Female, is the only female member of the boys. She is considered the muscle of the group. Kimiko is so strong that she can rip through ordinary people's anatomies as if they were nothing. She's also a really great fighter. She was able to give Black Noir a good fight in an alleyway, but ultimately lost to him and seemingly perished if not for her impressive healing factor. Her strength also allowed her to give impressive blows to Stormfront, causing her to bleed from the mouth. and even get back into the fight after her neck was snapped by Stormfront. Kimiko was also strong enough to sneak attack A-Train from the side and break his leg in Season 1. A-Train was able to get a strong upper hand in their fight earlier in Season 1 in the subway, but ultimately did no long-term damage to her. Shockwave was at one point known as the fastest man alive when he was in line to replace A-Train on the 7. He can run at speeds just under Mach 1. He loses his race to a Compound V jacked up A-Train in Season 1. His head was exploded by Victoria Newman in the court scene. He would be able to beat most of his opponents lower on this list just by blitzing them with his speed, in my opinion. After Shockwave, I think it's no surprise that A-Train comes after. A-Train is the primary speedster for the 7 we see on the show. A-Train, while on Compound V, was able to surpass speeds of Mach 1.3. While on V, he ran so fast and carelessly that he ran through Robin Ward, instantly killing her. He was able to run and shoot up Popclaw with 4 doses of Compound V before she could even react, killing her. A-Train can view blasts in slow motion as a result of his accelerated perception, such as when he dodged Starlight's beams during their battle. His speed was weaponized to the point of smashing Kimiko's head into the wall several times, crushing the concrete. He was also able to hit her through concrete walls. While A-Train did have heart problems as a result of his Compound V abuse, he says that his heart problems cleared up by the end of Season 2. Next up, we have one of the biggest twists of the show, Victoria Newman, the progressive congresswoman introduced in Season 2 that turned out to be a Supe, and the one responsible for the attack at the congressional hearing. Her power is described as cranial explosion inducement, which is essentially bursting people's heads open in a violent manner. It is currently unknown how the powers work or if she has other powers. Her powers have notably killed the Supe Shockwave. When she uses her powers, her eyes get cloudy. Because she's so mysterious, this was a little bit hard to rank, but with my better judgment and a little bit of speculation, this is where I placed her. Next up, we have Cindy. Cindy was a test patient at the Sage Grove Center. Cindy has a strong form of telekinesis, being able to rip off and crush metal doors. She can also crush and explode people's bodies, even Supes. Cindy was able to withstand a full-blown electrical attack from Stormfront and was only briefly knocked out from it. Next up, we have Queen Maeve. Queen Maeve has incredible super strength, being able to jump higher than 20 feet in the air at a time, being able to restrain Black Noir, and being the tipping point that gave Starlight and Kimiko the win in the Season 2 finale against Stormfront. Maeve is also a practicing martial artist, being able to focus on taking down 3 opponents at once from all sides in a training exercise. Aside from her superhuman strength, the rest of her abilities appear to be peak human. Stormfront is the replacement for Translucent on the 7. Stormfront has the ability to shoot electricity from her hands called plasma manipulation. While these are powerful, they are not lethal to most people, as even Huey was able to survive a blast from it, along with Cindy, who endured a longer hit from the electricity, who was only briefly knocked out. She has superhuman ability, being one of the only people to survive Homelander's laser eyes. She is also able to tank Starlight's beams and gunfire. Her eyes are a spot of vulnerability, however, as Becca was able to take out one of her eyes with a seemingly normal knife, and she was beaten by the combined efforts of Maeve, Starlight, and Kimiko. She did have the advantage over just Kimiko and Starlight, but lost when Maeve joined in. She was also heavily injured to the point of near death by Ryan via his laser vision in the finale of Season 2. She has enhanced strength, being able to snap the neck of Kimiko and be able to keep up with Homelander in their roughhousing. She also seemingly does not age, and she can fly. Next up, we have Black Noir, the Batman of the Boys universe, only hindered by his tree nut allergy. Black Noir is the perfect ninja. He has been shown to get external injuries quite easily, such as gunshot wounds, burns, and glass in his body. It never seems to faze him in the slightest and is able to keep on fighting. He also heals at a fast rate from his injuries. He is a master martial artist, beating the likes of Starlight and Kimiko in one-on-one combat with relative ease, along with being unfazed by an explosion by Nakeeb. Black Noir also has super speed, stated by Mother's Milk as being able to outrun a car. Black Noir is easily able to throw others through concrete. This next one might be a little bit surprising to some. I really had a hard time placing Ryan. Ryan is the son of Homelander and Becca Butcher and the firstborn Supe. He was raised in a secluded environment with his mom having no contact with the outside world. He is shown to have superhuman strength, invulnerability, heat vision, and super hearing. It is also speculated that he has the other powers that his dad has as well. Ryan has difficulty using his powers as he was never trained to use them under Becca. He has only been shown to use them under moments of extreme emotion. While he was using his powers, he was able to shove Homelander to the ground when Homelander wasn't expecting it, and able to directly heat vision Stormfront, charring her body and vaporizing her limbs. It also killed his mother and sent Billy Butcher flying. His super hearing is not as fine-tuned as Homelander's, as the trap set by Frenchie and Kimiko left him hiding in pain under a table. In what I think is a surprise to nobody, we have Homelander at the top of our list. To list off Homelander's powers, we have superhuman strength, invulnerability, superhuman speed, superhuman stamina to the point of no fatigue, heat vision that can kill both people and most supes instantly, X-ray vision, superhuman hearing, superhuman smell, and fly at speeds of at least Mach 2. He is so powerful that he is feared by virtually all members of the Seven. I mean, this guy is a serious dude. No one wants to mess with him. Well guys, that's going to conclude our boys power rankings video. I really hope you guys enjoyed. This was not an easy video for me to create. I really did have quite a bit of help from the boys community as a whole. So once again guys, I really appreciate it. If you guys have any sort of contradictions to what I had to say, or differences in the ranking, please feel free to let me know in the comments. I read all the comments and I generally try to reply to all of them, so I'm really curious to hear what you guys have to say. On that note, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.